Another one of Reagan's crimes, supporting and creating Islamic terrorists. You know, the Mujahideen, Reagan was so fond of these Islamic jihadists, Nathan writes, that after arming and funding them with almost $5 billion in taxpayer money, he invited them to the White House and called them freedom fighters. They violently overthrew the government of Afghanistan. Now, what was going on in Afghanistan? This is where it gets really interesting. In 1978, there was a revolution. It was called the SAUR Revolution, S-A-U-R, SAUR Revolution. And Nathan writes, it saw the Middle Eastern country turn from an Islamic monarchy into a democratic republic, the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. The new DRA government modernized and secularized Afghanistan in a way no other Middle Eastern government had in history. One of the most noticeable of these revolutionary reforms was a massive leap forward in women's rights. Needless to say, these reforms were not without their detractors, which included the odd alliance of both the Islamic extremists and United States President Ronald Reagan. Reagan brought these people to the White House, gave them $5 billion. Perhaps one of the most notable figures, Nathan writes, supported and paid by the Reagan administration and the CIA was Ayman al-Zawahiri, whose group of jihadist fighters received a portion of the $500 million, half a billion dollars that the CIA sent to Afghanistan. Al-Zawahiri, by the way, was Osama bin Laden's mentor. In fact, one of the Mujahideen fighters was even Osama bin Laden himself. Bin Laden, if you didn't know this, bin Laden had been a college student. He was studying economics and business administration at a college in Saudi Arabia. But then when Reagan helped create the Mujahideen, Reagan and the CIA, and they went on their fight against, they overthrew this democratically elected government, the DRA government. Why? Because the DRA government was aligning itself with the Soviet Union. Or at least they were not opposing the Soviet Union. So Reagan and Osama bin Laden and Ayman al-Zawahiri all get together and they overthrow a democratically elected government that had expanded women's rights in Afghanistan. In 2004, the BBC claimed that bin Laden himself was not just supported by, but given military training by Reagan's CIA. And then you get to Nicaragua. After the Reagan administration armed and trained the Contra-terrorist army, they soon began to try to overthrow the Nicaraguan government. The Contras began kidnapping and torturing civilians, raping women, executing civilians, including children, seizing and burning civilian homes, and assassinating healthcare workers. 50,000 people died in this Contra killing spree that Reagan financed and helped create. In the aftermath, Reagan and the United States government were tried in the International Court of Justice for their part in the death and devastation. The Reagan administration was convicted. Did you know we had a president who was convicted in the International Court of Justice? Convicted for violating Nicaragua's sovereignty and convicted of encouraging the widespread crimes against humanity. Nicaragua was supposed to receive $17 billion in damages from the United States, but despite the conviction, the United States government refused to pay the retributions. Reagan also got involved in El Salvador's civil war, giving over $4 billion to the El Salvador's military, which caused the death of 75,000 people. In Guatemala, Reagan supported and propped up a brutal dictator, Rios Montt, who killed as many as 200,000 Guatemalans.